Hello, back again. So doing another nice bright set with the sun coming out. So I thought I'd do a nice 3D rose flower set today, using all nice bright neon colours. So I started off with the Glitterbels Extreme Length Stiletto tips, which I often use, as you can probably tell. And I'm coming in here with Lava Lamp and just covering the tips, as I'm going to do all of these as an ombre. This one is highlighter pink, and then I come in with Crazy Frog and Bright Blue. I'm now coming in with Tinkerbell Cover, which again I use on most of my sets. Do any of you have one core powder that you just always go to? I need to start using some other ones. I think I have them all, but Tinkerbell Cover is definitely my go-to one. So when applying for the ombre, coming in with obviously Tinkerbell Cover, I'm keeping the bead fairly dry, so that obviously it's quite pigmented. Because we're covering quite a bright colour, we don't want to see that adjoining line between the two colours. So keeping it nice and dry, but obviously wet enough where we can still blend down. And it just gives that nice coverage then, and using the belly brush just to feather it down so it blends nicely. So again, I'm just going to do that on each of the nails, always bringing in the side walls as a work, so you've got less filing to do later. Want to try and keep it obviously parallel with the tip of the nail. And then just here on the little pinky, the exact same. So you can do it in a 2 or 3 bead method. Most of my nails you end up doing it in a 2 bead because you're just getting enough coverage, so it's fine. And just trying to keep it even along obviously all the nails as well. So I decided to do my roses in the same colour as what the ombre tips are. I just thought it'd give a bit of a different effect rather than coming in with, like, say, the classic white or another colour. I wanted it to kind of just be flow and be part of the full nail. When you're doing 3D roses, obviously have a nice 3D brush, the Glitterbels one's great, and keep your beads, trying to keep them all of a similar size for those bottom petals, but keeping the bead again quite dry, placing it down, and you just need to wait until it goes matte before you try manipulating it into shape, because if it's too wet, obviously it's not going to hold any sort of shape, but if it's overly dry, then it's going to be difficult to get it into a shape. So you just want to place it down on the nail. Your bead will be perfect if you can put it down on the nail and it doesn't really move, and then you just wait for it to go slightly matte, so it's not shiny, and that's when you know that obviously you can start moulding it into shape. And you'll have a fair bit of time to be able to pop it into shape to how you want. And then obviously coming in with a second rose here, and you can see I'm doing the central bit here. So again, I've popped that bead down, waited for it to go matte, and then I'm using the very tip of my brush to create a hole in the middle. I'm bringing down some of the edges, and then I'll use the tip of my brush just to sweep in that corner to make like a swirl for that centre bit of the rose. I know it's a bit difficult to see on this particular nail because it's so bright. So, and obviously everybody does roses in their own way. There's lots of different ways and techniques, but the way I found the easiest is I tend to do 3 base petals, all slightly overlapping each other, and then I'll maybe come in with 1 or 2 petals on top of that, and then the central of the rose. So it's also important, obviously, to allow that first petal to dry slightly before putting that second petal on top, because if you put it on top too soon, then again you might find that they kind of merge together and you're not going to get that definite 2 petal look. Try and keep your brush fairly dry and clean for when you are patting them down, because if you add too much liquid, again that's going to be more difficult getting into the shape you want. Obviously if you work too dry as well, that can make it a bit more difficult to get those petals into shape. I'd love to see all your attempts at it. So, and if there's anything else you want me to try, just leave a comment and I'll give it a go. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again very shortly for my next video. Thank you. Bye.